The story begins by showing a scene of commotion at a karaoke place where a security guard was accidentally hit by a bottle, causing his head to bleed. After the hitter noticed him, he finally realized that the waiter was Chen Feng, a former martial arts champion who never lost in any match. The man immediately apologized and even asked for a selfie with Chen. Chen himself somehow ended up working at that karaoke place after he served a sentence in prison. Somewhere else, Li, a businessman and Chen's friend, came to meet a mafia boss named Hai Yi, who was the head of the development project in which Li was one of the biggest investors. He intended to withdraw all his shares because Hai Yi never completed the project, but Hai Yi asked for a little more time for their project to be completed. The next day, Chen Feng was sitting in front of a school when a security guard appeared and reprimanded him for being suspicious, but it turned out that he was there to see Chen, his daughter from his ex, Xiao King, whom he had never met since birth. Later, when King showed up, she saw Chen and ran after him. After the two of them met, Chen finally became honest that she had remarried a man who was none other than Li and lived happily while Chen was in prison. King was then willing to arrange a time for Chen to meet their daughter Chen, but could not guarantee that Chen would accept him. In a luxury restaurant, Chen was finally able to meet Chen in person. Way different from what Chen imagined. Chen was a smart child who grew up as a spoiled kid and rather impolite to him. She didn't show any sign of sympathy when she asked about Chen's job and how much money he earned. She arrogantly said that this meeting had taken up her stepfather's time and money, so Chen, not wanting to be considered a burden, promised would pay for all the food served at their table. Chen was so humiliated when the bill for eating at this restaurant cost half of his salary per month. Seeing Chen couldn't afford to pay, Li as a stepfather apologized for Chen's attitude and would pay for all the food. The next day, Chen resigned from his job as a bouncer. He then went to meet De Hua, one of his friends who had become the owner of a gym, to ask for a job. In fact, there was no vacancy for Chen to work, but out of pity, Da Hua gave him a job as a cleaning service and trainer in his gym. Shortly after, Chen and Li came after finding out that Chen worked as a trainer in De Hua's gym. Li wanted Chen to be trained by her father, not only because Chen was a great fighter, but because he wanted Chen to get closer to her father. When the two of them were practicing, Chen enjoyed being with his daughter, but not with Chen, who suddenly stopped the training after Chen reprimanded her for not doing the right way of kicking. Chen explained that she had an idol named Wei, a famous martial arts champion, and the kick she had just done was his trademark kick. When Chen was about to leave, Wei appeared, which made Chen stunned. Apparently, Wei's arrival there was to meet Chen to demand revenge for the death of his brother, Feng Zi, 10 years ago, which was the cause of Chen going to prison. Wei's arrival was to challenge Chen to a fight to avenge the death of his brother. It was then revealed that Chen once had a fight with Feng Zi 10 years ago when he was having dinner with Xiao King and his two friends, Li and Da Hua. Chen had the upper hand and managed to beat Feng Zi, but things elevated quickly when he accidentally killed Feng Zi after smashing his head to the bench. Chen, who didn't want to cause any trouble, had repented of becoming a brutal fighter, so he refused the challenge. Wei offered two options if he wanted this problem to be resolved, either accepting the challenge or crawling under him. In front of his own daughter, Chen chose the second option, namely crawling under Wei's legs. That was the most embarrassing thing Chen had ever done in his life. Wei then approached Chen and said that he didn't want her to be his fan because her father was the one who had killed his brother. After that, Wei left the gym. Instead of pleasing her mother by training with her father, Chen actually had to feel hurt when she was humiliated by her own idol and saw with her own eyes when her father humiliated his own pride. She immediately went home because of her father's attitude. In the middle of a thunderstorm, Chen Feng was just as hurt when he saw his own daughter who was so disappointed in him. Chen, who initially didn't want to fight anymore, was determined to come to Wei's gym to accept the challenge. He said that if he won, he wanted Wei to apologize directly to his daughter, but if he lost, Wei was allowed to kill him. From there, Chen then returned to training intensely and began to master several of his deadly movements that had previously been forgotten. A month later, Chen then went to a park near the sea. He saw that Wei had been waiting for him there while wearing professional boxing gloves. Before they started fighting, Wei told him that he once dreamed of becoming an artist, but when he heard that his brother was killed by a professional boxer, he decided to train himself and become the champion so he could avenge his brother's death. After telling Chen about that, they started fighting. After fighting for a long time, Chen finally managed to win the fight, but because Wei was still determined not to accept his defeat even after Chen locked his arm. Chen had no other choice but to break Wei's hand, but even after his hand was broken, Wei was still determined not to accept his defeat, so Chen prostrated and apologized so that he would forgive him. In the end, Wei was touched by Chen's determination and decided to forgive him. Wei kept his promise to apologize to Chen and even gave her his poster that he had signed special for her. Meanwhile, Eli was having a meeting with Hai Yi regarding his project that hadn't been completed yet. Eli, who didn't want to lose money, decided to finally withdraw all his shares. Before Chen's birthday, Xiao King invited Chen to attend the party. Chen was so happy to hear that. He then asked De Hua what kind of gift he had to buy for his daughter, and De Hua suggested buying a pink boxing glove. The next day, when Chen arrived at the party, he received a bad response from Chen, who disliked the gift he bought for her. She even felt that her father's presence here would only ruin the atmosphere. She thought that her father only came because she was rich. She even had the heart to kick him out of there. Soon after, a Lai came with a pony as a gift for Chen, and Chen was so happy to see it. Chen, who felt humiliated, decided to leave without even trying to defend himself. Not long after the party was over, a Li realized that Chen had disappeared. He then got a call from Hai Yi, saying that he had kidnapped Chen because he had withdrawn his shares from his project. If he wanted Chen to be returned, he had to give him all his shares, including half of the assets he currently owned. Meanwhile, Chen was contemplating on the side of the road when he accidentally saw the kidnapper's car with Chen inside, so he immediately ran after them. He then got a call from Xiao King, telling him that Chen had been kidnapped, but that made him off guard and ended up getting hit by the incoming traffic. He fainted for a moment, but his determination to save his daughter brought him back to his senses. He then took a bicycle and chased the car. Chen finally arrived at Hai Yi's place. He went inside and faced several guards quite easily. After beating the guards, he took one of the guards' phone and immediately called Xiao King to tell her that he was currently at the kidnapper's residence and promised that he would save Chen. Chen had to face more guards. Most of them were former thugs and martial arts experts who were deliberately recruited, but with his skills that had been re-honed, Chen didn't hesitate to beat them all. After finishing off the guards on the ground floor, Chen immediately faced dozens of guards on the top floor. He was ganged upon and cornered, so he was forced to use a baseball bat to fight them. After beating the remaining guards, Chen went into the room where Chen was locked. When he entered, one of the guards hit his stomach with an axe, causing a fatal wound, but he still managed to beat the guards there and save Chen. When he and Chen were about to leave, Hai Yi's right-hand man stopped him and challenged him to a duel. Chen told Chen to step back and let him finish his business. He fought fiercely with the man, punching each other, until finally they exhausted themselves. The man then took out a baton, using it to fight Chen and causing more injuries to Chen. Chen decided to push the man through the balcony railing, causing them both to fall to the ground. Chen approached them and helped Chen to sit. She then took out the phone and called her mother that she was saved by Chen. Not long after, the police raided Hai Yi's hotel room and arrested him and his girlfriend, who was the mastermind of the kidnapping. Chen, on the other hand, finally realized that her father was a figure who deserved to be called a hero because he was willing to risk his life for her safety. A few days later, Chen had recovered and was cleaning his house when Chen came with Xiao King. Later, before Chen and Xiao King left, Chen told him that she couldn't wait to start training again with him at the gym.